Hello, my name's Stephen Mears from Stephen Mears Funeral Directors. I come from a long line of funeral directors and I hope that this video will help you with your funeral arrangements. How to budget funeral prices. It's important when you make funeral arrangements to realise that the person that is making the arrangements is ultimately responsible for paying the funeral director's account. So, what do we need to do? First of all, you've got to realise that if you're having a burial, just the burial fee could be many thousands. So normally a cremation would be your less expensive option. What constitutes the main part of the funeral prices? Usually the disbursements. These are things such as grave fees, cemetery fees, cremation fees. These are the fees that whichever funeral director you use, you will have to pay. They will be the same whichever funeral director you go to. Usually these need to be paid at the time of making the arrangement. On top of that, you have the funeral director's fees. These will include the coffin of your choice, the cars of your choice, flowers possibly, anything that will make the funeral special to yourselves. Usually these can be paid after the funeral, but ultimately you're still responsible for paying for them. There is help from the government in the form of the social fund. If you have a qualifying benefit, this will entitle you to £700 worth of funeral director's costs plus all the necessary disbursements, i.e. the grave fees, cremation fees. If when you make the funeral arrangements at the funeral directors, you tell them that you think you might be able to make a claim, they will be able to advise you. You will need to pay the difference between what the social fund will pay and the funeral director's charges, normally at the time of the arrangement. Another way of the funeral being paid is via a prepaid funeral. This will be funeral arrangements that either the deceased or their family have made and paid for prior to the death. You would normally know if there is a prepaid funeral, and if this is so, all the deceased instructions will be written down and generally the whole of the funeral will be paid. That's how to budget funeral prices.